What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I had to make this video because, well, if you live in Canada, you need to know that CERB officially ended on October 3rd. So now it's important to understand what options you have during this pandemic. A lot of people are going through some very tough times as individuals or as families, and they need to be aware of the different kinds of financial support the government is providing. In this video, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about what happened with CERB, what new financial support is available, how you can get it, and much, much more. Sit tight. Feel free to let me know what you think of the video down in the comments below, and let's get on with the video. Before we start talking about the new benefits, let's just clear the air about what's going on with CERB. CERB officially ended on October 3rd. It's done. You can't apply anymore. That's it. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting. The government made changes to the employment insurance or EI program and added some new benefits. They're trying to make it easier for Canadians to transition from CERB to EI if they qualify for it, and if they don't, then they can just apply for the new benefits, which we'll discuss later in the video. So, if you were on CERB before, there's essentially two ways that you will transition to EI, and you will see if you qualify for EI benefits or not. The first way is if you were receiving CERB through your Service Canada or applying through your My Service Canada account, like when you did those online reports. The second way is if you were receiving CERB by applying through your My CRA account or through the Canada Revenue Agency. But let's focus on the first one first. So if you applied through your online My Service Canada account, you completed your reports and you got your last CERB payment, then Service Canada will most likely automatically review your file and apply for EI for you. The reason I say most likely is because there's three cases where Service Canada won't apply for EI for you, so then you got to do it yourself. The first case is if you have a social insurance number that starts with a 9. The second is if you are self-employed. And the third case is if you declared that you returned back to work full-time on your CERB report. If any of these three apply to you, then you will have to apply for EI yourself. Service Canada won't do it for you. Now, on the flip side, if you do not have any of those things, then Service Canada will automatically review your file. They will check your record of employment, or ROE, and then they'll see if you qualify for EI or not. If you don't qualify, then they'll let you know by sending you a mail. If you do qualify, then they will start a claim for EI regular benefits for you. If you need EI sickness benefits instead of regular benefits, so that's for people who can't work because of sickness or injury or they're quarantining, then you would have to declare it on your reports that you're unable to work for medical reasons, and you could get up to 15 weeks of EI. So that sums up the first way you could transition from CERB to employment insurance, and I hope I made that simple to follow. Now, the second way is if you got your CERB payments by applying through the Canada Revenue Agency or through your My CRA account. If you got your CERB money this way, then you will have to wait and make sure that you got all your CERB payments that you were eligible for before you apply for EI benefits. Once you got all your CERB money in the bank, then you can just check if you're eligible for EI and go apply through Service Canada. Easy peasy. I'll be making a video on how to know if you're eligible for EI as well, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, that basically covers what the government is doing in terms of transitioning people from CERB to EI. Long story short, you just need to figure out if you're eligible for EI regular or sickness benefits. If you are qualified to receive EI benefits, then that's good. Go ahead and take that. That should be your first focus if you used to get CERB. If you don't qualify for EI, then the government has introduced 3 new benefits in order to support Canadians during the pandemic. The first is the Canada Recovery Benefit, or CRB. The second is the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit, or CRCB. And the third is the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, or CRSB. There's a lot of information to go through for these ones, so I'll leave timestamps in the description box below in case you don't want to hear about all three benefits. All right, so let's start with the first one, which is the Canada Recovery Benefit, or the CRB. This benefit is going to open up on Monday, October 12th, and you got to apply through your CRA account. In terms of money, CERB was a $2,000 a month kind of deal when you got it, meaning that they just deposited $2,000 all at once, or you got your weekly reports that you had to do, which gave you $500 a week or whatnot. The CRB is actually a 2-week period benefit, meaning that you have to apply every 2 weeks to get the payments, which also means you must be eligible every time you apply. You get $1,000 for the entire 2-week period, which technically becomes $500 per week. So essentially, it's very similar to how much money you're getting in comparison to CERB. Now, in order to apply for CRB, there's a long eligibility criteria, which I'll include a link for in the description box. But the main one is that you are an employed or self-employed individual and you are not working for reasons related to the pandemic, or you had a 50% reduction in your average weekly income compared to the previous year due to the pandemic. I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but it will make more sense when I show you how to calculate this. Don't worry. So let's say you made $39,000 in 2019 or in the last 12 months. You can find your employment income on your tax return. We have to find what the average weekly income is and find what half of that is. So let's say you made $39,000 in the year from employment or self-employment income. We will divide by 52 weeks, which gives us $750 per week. Then we divide by 2 because we need 50% of that, and we get $375. Okay, so let's put that number aside for now. Now let's say the pandemic is hitting your company, so your hours get reduced. So you're making $100 per week now. And now we compare the two numbers that we calculated. The first one is half of your average weekly income from the previous year, which is $375. The other number is how much your average weekly income is, which of course is the average weekly income during the CRB period you're applying for, and we had $100 for that. Since you're now making much less than half of your weekly income from the previous year because of the pandemic, you could be eligible for this benefit if you meet all the other requirements as well. Go through the calculation one more time. If you didn't quite understand it entirely, just pause it and go back if you need to. So, like I said before, the CRB pays out $1,000 every 2 weeks, but the CRA will actually withhold 10% tax, so you'll end up getting $900 for the 2 weeks instead. The benefit is available for an entire year that started from September 27, 2020 and will end on September 25, 2021. There's a total of 26 periods available to apply for throughout the year, but you're only allowed to apply to 13 periods. And no, you don't have to apply for 13 periods straight. You can just apply different times between those two dates. I'll leave a list of all the 26 periods on the screen if you want to look at it. Moving on, let's switch from the CRB to the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit, or the CRCB. This benefit is for those of you who are self-employed or employed and can't work because they need to care for their child under 12 years old, or a family member who needs supervised care. According to the government, this applies if their school, regular program, or facility is closed or unavailable due to the pandemic, or if they're sick, self-isolating, or at risk of serious health complications due to the pandemic. If this sounds like you, then you might be eligible for CRCB. The CRCB is paying out $500 or $450 after tax in 1 week periods. The benefit is in effect from September 27, 2020 to September 25th, 2021, and it's the same exact full year as the CRB, but this is for 26 weeks or 26 periods instead. So yes, you can apply for it now. There's multiple requirements for this benefit too, so I'll include a link to their criteria in the description box below. But again, one of the main requirements is that you are unable to work at least 50% of your scheduled work week because you have to take care of a family member. So if your kid is getting sick or you live with elders at home that need to be taken care of because they are at risk of serious health complications, then this would be really applicable for you. In order to apply for this benefit, you will have to apply through your CRA account as well, or you can apply through the phone, which I'll leave somewhere on the screen here for a second. Anyways, that basically sums up the CRCB. Let's switch over to the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, or the CRSB now. The CRSB is very similar to the previous one we just went through, which was the Caregiver's Benefit. This is the Recovery Sickness Benefit and is for employed and self-employed individuals who can't work because they're sick or need to self-isolate due to the pandemic, or they have a health condition that puts them at greater risk of catching the illness. The payment is the same as the caregivers, with $500 per 1 week period, but you'll get $450 in your bank after taxes. The only thing with this benefit is that you can only apply twice. So these benefits started all at the same time, which was September 27th this year to September 25th, 2021, but you can only apply for this benefit twice. I mean, it makes sense because it's meant to provide you support if you catch the illness and you're self-isolating for 14 days. Since you can only apply twice, the total benefits that you can get is $1,000 in total before tax. And that's about it. Those are the 3 new benefits that the Government of Canada has released to people to access if they are eligible. During this pandemic, the uncertainty can cause a lot of stress mentally and financially for people. So it's important that you understand all of these benefits. So here's a simple breakdown or recap of all the benefits that we covered in this video. The first benefit you need to look at is EI, or employment insurance. Check if you're qualified and apply for it through Service Canada. If you can't get EI, then you can look at the 3 new benefits that was provided by the government. The first one was CRB. This one is basically meant if your hours and your weekly income has drastically reduced due to the pandemic. The second one was the CRCB, which was meant for those of you who are forced to be at home and take care of someone who is sick or at risk of serious health complications from the illness. And the last one was the CRSB, which is literally a 2-week income support if you catch the illness and you're forced to quarantine or self-isolate. Hopefully this video was able to help you clarify what's going on with all the new financial support the government is releasing. The news can be super confusing at times, and so I really hope that something made sense from this video. Leave a comment down below if you do have any questions or concerns about Life After CERB. Share this video with friends or family who might need to hear about the new benefits. Subscribe to the channel to see when I post new videos. Follow me on all my social media, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Yeah!